This check right here was for $10,000 and I got it without ever seeing a home, owning a house, taking out a loan, or leaving the beach. A lot of wholesalers might do a decent amount of deals, but they typically get deals that are maybe $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. But once I figured out what we're gonna go over in this video, I was closing 5-figure checks consistently. And in the next few minutes, I'm gonna break down the entire blueprint of what you guys can implement in your business to ensure that you only close 5-figure, if not 6-figure checks. Step number 1. Stop chasing super cheap properties in bad areas where investors don't really want to buy. On average, you can expect your wholesale fee to be roughly 5 to 10% of your contract price. So if your contract price with a homeowner is $200,000, you can expect your check to be $10,000 to $20,000. But if you're going after properties that are $50,000, $30,000, $40,000, $20,000, you're not going to make a $10,000 to $20,000 check from a $30,000 house. So what you want to do when you're targeting properties is try and target properties that are within the $150,000 to $500,000 price point as far as ARV goes. You can also look for homes in growing areas. One of my favorite ways to do this is check population growth of cities, but then also look at the pending to active ratio in the market that you're looking at. How to do that is you can go to Zillow or Redfin and click all homes for sale, and then view pending and active and get that total, and then only view pending. If it's 10% or less, that's not a very hot market. Buyers probably aren't gonna be paying that much because they know the homes are gonna sit on the market, so they have to hold it for longer, which means they need a bigger profit to account for the holding costs. But if the pending ratio is 15, 20, 30, 40, 50%, that's a super hot market and you'll be able to get bigger assignment fees in those hotter areas. Step number 2 is use better lead sources. Tons of new wholesalers just call a bunch of random homeowners to see if they wanna sell, and then even if they can sneak out a deal, they're not really that motivated. You're probably not gonna get a very good price, and you're probably gonna get a small assignment fee, if one at all. Instead, what you can do is you guys can start targeting motivated sellers. We use PropStream to do that if you guys have the budget for that. Or alternatively, we do have an exclusive lead provider in the group. It's the same price as PropStream, but instead of paying and then having to go cold call, you just get 25 qualified off-market motivated seller leads. And if you are gonna go the PropStream route and pull your own data, some of my favorite lists are gonna be pre-foreclosure, tax delinquent, and tired landlord. And the last option for that is if you guys don't want to cold call and you've got a budget, you can actually hire a virtual assistant who's just someone that lives in a different country, and they will make the cold calls for you. That's one of our primary lead generation sources right now. And if you guys want to book a call with the company that we work with, there's a link down in the description below. Step number 3 is you want to master reverse wholesaling. Now, we've talked about building your buyers list before, so if you guys are unsure of how to do that, be sure to go watch the previous video on building your buyers list. But what you want to do is talk to your buyers and understand how they run their numbers so that you can then look at each lead through the lens of your buyer. Now, for the most part, a lot of markets, it's ARV times 0.75 minus repairs is the price you can sell the home for. Some markets are different, and you won't necessarily know that unless you talk to the buyers. Now, the beauty of this is you now know how buyers run their numbers. So if you know, because you've spoken to the buyers, that a buyer would pay, let's say, $200,000 for this house, you don't have to guess as to how much money you can make on the deal. If you can negotiate it down to 170 or 180, you can make $20,000 to $30,000 on a single deal. And another great thing you can do with that is now that you have a really strong buyers list, you can send it out to all of them, and you could even try and start a bidding war to see if you can get buyers to go a little bit above where they would typically go, so you could get an extra $3,000, $5,000, $7,000 on a single deal. And step number 4, that piggybacks off of step number 3, is get buyers to compete with your deals. When you're selling your deal, I know you're excited that you got a buyer lined up, but what you can do is send it out to multiple buyers at the same time. Call the buyers and say, hey, I'm sending this out to you right now. I've got a couple of the people I'm gonna talk to. As soon as you can give me a price, let me know. That, number 1, creates urgency because the buyers, you know, they want the deal. And number 2, you can then get multiple different offers from multiple different buyers. And if you see some of them are competing for that top spot, you could then reach back out to all of them and say, hey, we have a couple pretty good bids on this property. We're looking for highest and best by Friday at noon. And then each buyer will go in and submit their highest offer that they would offer to you on the property, and that's almost every single time gonna guarantee a higher assignment fee for you. Number 5 is you wanna build a pipeline for consistent deals. Obviously, one deal is amazing, but if you can close deal after deal after deal, you're gonna be able to reinvest more into your company, start getting better leads, and be able to focus more on closing deals versus sourcing your own deals. Because what happens is a lot of wholesalers close a deal, blow the money on something stupid like a Rolex, then they're back to square one, and then they have to start all over again. Instead, what you can do is close a deal, invest into something like the virtual assistant, have them start getting you deals, and now you're closing 1 to 2 deals a month, then get another and another and another, and that's how you scale your company to multiple 6 figures, if not 7 figures per year. And what you can also do with that is we've gone over the free ways to generate leads in previous videos, so if you haven't watched that, be sure to go do that. But give yourself a daily metric of making 10 to 20 offers every single day, so you constantly have sellers you're following up with, you're constantly negotiating on deals, and you're constantly getting contracts signed. And with that, something you can do is build a really strong relationship with some real estate agents. Let them know what you're looking for, let them know where you're looking for it, how you run their numbers, etc., and then they will be able to start sending you deals. Agent referrals are one of our favorite lead sources internally. It's free, they're typically some pretty good deals, and for the most part, agents run their numbers correctly, so typically when they send you a deal, it's gonna be a good one. So if we combine all of that, and we start going after motivated sellers, working on the right price properties, sourcing out your lead generation, understanding reverse wholesaling and what your buyers will pay, and stacking that with agent relationships, and adding in bidding wars, having multiple buyers go for the same property, you are well on your way to closing 10, 15, 20, even $30,000 to $50,000 checks per deal. So now that you guys know how to make $10,000 per deal, the next step is turning wholesaling into a company and into a business that allows you to quit that 9 to 5. In the next video, I'm gonna show you exactly how I did it and how you can do that too in the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. If you guys wanna watch that video, click that right here. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.